Hi, I'm Emily at the JCC, and this is Beginner Flow Yoga. You might want to have some blocks nearby. You can, if you don't have like yoga blocks, you can really use anything that's this shape. I'm going to put mine at the front of my mat on either side. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to start a basic flow yoga practice. So please begin in child's pose, and I'll show you how to do that. Come all the way down to your mat with your knees bent. Your knees could be wide or close together. And reach your hands forward. Spread your fingers out wide. Yoga teaches us that where our thoughts go, our energy flows. So be mindful of your thoughts as you move through your practice. Are you telling yourself already, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that pose. I'm not flexible. I'm not strong enough. Well, if that's what you're telling yourself, then you're right. And maybe change that dialogue. Maybe instead, just be willing to try. Tell yourself you're willing to try and see where your thoughts go, your energy flows. Start to deepen your breath. Slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. Your breath fuels every cell of your body. So it's really important to use your full lung capacity. In fact, research shows us that most people experience the effects of aging because they stop breathing to capacity. So it's a good thing we practice yoga and practice breathing. Take a few more full, complete breaths in and out. And then press up on your hands and knees, tabletop. And we'll take a few cat-cow stretches. So inhale, lift your head and tailbone. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, extend, lift your head and tailbone. Exhale, round your spine. Move with your breath at your pace. Through this whole practice, I'll give you cues. But really, you should move at the pace of your breath. You should follow your breath back and forth. And that's going to look different for each person based on your body, your lung capacity. Every body is different. Every body has been on a different journey. So be mindful, honor where you're at today, and move with your breath. Return your spine to neutral and stick out one hip and look at it back there. Inhale through center, exhale other side. Inhale through center, exhale other side. Again, move back and forth with your breath. Follow your breath back and forth. Lateral flexion and extension of the spine helps with spinal integrity and also helps us increase the volume we can take into our lungs by creating space between the intercostal muscles that hold our ribs together. Good. Come back to the center. Step 1 foot forward. And let's come to a low lunge. So use your blocks if you have them. Shift your hips forward. Feel a stretch in your hips, maybe in your quad. And then draw your hips back. You can bring your blocks with you. Straighten your front leg, get a hamstring stretch. And we'll flow back and forth a few times. So inhale, come forward. Exhale, hamstring stretch, draw your hips back. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hamstring stretch. One more time. Bring it forward. Draw your hips back. And then we'll switch. Step your other foot forward. You can use your blocks. Low lunge. Stretch your hips and the quad of your back leg. And then draw your hips back. Stretch your hamstring. And we'll flow back and forth. You can take your blocks with you if you'd like. Inhale, forward, low lunge. Exhale, draw your hips back, hamstring stretch. Inhale, come forward. Exhale all the way back. One more time. Inhale forward. Exhale back. And then return to tabletop with both knees on the ground. Take your right foot straight back. Flex the foot. Look at your foot down there. Point your toes to the earth. Then lift your head up and maybe take the opposite hand forward. Opposite limb extension. Draw your belly button to your spine. Bring it back to your mat and switch sides. Press the other foot back. Look at your foot. Flex your foot. Press through your heel. Point your toes to the earth. Then lift your head up. Lift the opposite hand up. This pose helps realign the spine. Can actually reverse the effects of scoliosis. Lower down. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. So your hands and feet should be wide. Like pinky fingers, pinky toes coming off the mat wide. Inhale, go way up on your tippy toes. Move your heart toward your knees. And let your heels fall back toward the mat. It doesn't matter if your heels touch the mat or not. Connect to your breath. Inversions, going upside down, is very important to do every day. It brings freshly oxygenated blood to your brains. And it helps us flip our perspective. Look between your hands and walk your feet up toward your hands. Ragdoll, bend your knees. You could use a block under your hands. Let your head hang down. Shake your head out, no. Shake your head out, yes. Let everything spill out of your brains. Drop everything you thought you knew about what this practice is going to be, about what this life is going to be. Let all that go. You could even grab opposite elbows and sway side to side. And then slowly press into your feet and roll up super slow, one vertebra at a time. Way up. Reach up, look up. Mountain pose. Mountain pose. Stand up tall. Place your feet directly under your ankles, directly under your knees, under your hips. Stack your joints all the way up. Make sure your toes are pointed forward. Your feet should be parallel. We call this true north in yoga. Roll your shoulders around, back and down. Spread out your fingers. Get space between the webbing of your fingers. Draw your belly up. Advanced yoga. Lift the corners of your mouth. Research shows us that taking a dominant position like this one, mountain pose, increases your testosterone levels and decreases your cortisol levels. What that means is it increases your confidence and decreases your stress. So stand here in mountain pose. Take a few big breaths into the most authentic version of you today. You already have everything that you need. You already are everything that you need. Breathe here, in through your nose, out through your nose, building confidence, reducing stress. Good, then breathe in, reach up, look up, stretch both sides of your body up. Breathe out, fold forward, all the way down to the ground. You could use blocks here under your hands or rest your hands on your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw your head forward, the crown of your head forward, and your tailbone back to lengthen your spine. Plank pose, top of a push-up. Bring your knees down. This is also plank pose. Come down onto your forearms. Also plank pose. As long as you're drawing your belly button to the spine, it's plank. Lift your knees up. Also plank pose. Good. Drop your belly down, Sphinx. Lift your heart up. There's many different variations of plank, and I highly suggest that you try each one of them. You choose with each vinyasa flow which plank would be better for you at that moment. Bring your hands under your shoulders and lift up to cobra. Lift your heart up. And then tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. And we're going to start to flow. Remember to follow your breath. I'll say the cue, but you follow your breath. Look between your hands and come to the front. Inhale, halfway lift, extend your spine. Exhale, fold in a little deeper. Inhale with a flat back, reach up. Look up. Exhale, hinge at your hips with a flat back all the way down. You can use blocks under your hands if you'd like. Inhale, halfway lift, extend your spine. Exhale, plank pose. This next pose is really important to practice proper form. It's called chaturanga, and it's basically half of a push-up. So what we do is we bring our elbows in towards our chest and bend our elbows to 90 degrees. Gaze is still lifted. And then drop knees, drop hips, and straighten your arms to cobra. Let's try it again. Ready? Plank pose. Chaturanga. Bend your elbows to 90 degrees. Drop knees, drop hips, straighten your arms to cobra. One more time. Come to plank pose. Drop your knees down first. Now let's try chaturanga. Bend your elbows, then drop your hips and straighten. This is an excellent modification for anybody who would like just a little bit of support in chaturanga. It's very important not to dump all the way down onto your belly, and it's very important not to bend your elbows past the 90 degrees. Poor form in chaturanga causes damage to your shoulders, and we're not trying to do that. So it would be better to modify or to move less than to just dump into it and try to make it all the way to the ground. Good. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Big breath in and out. Look between your hands, come to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold in. Reach up, look up. Fold forward all the way down to the ground. Halfway lift, extend your spine. Plank pose. Chaturanga, knees up or down. Cobra. Good. Downward facing dog. We'll do it one more time. Look between your hands. Walk your feet up to the front. Halfway lift. Fold in. Reach up, look up, stretch. Fold forward all the way down. Halfway lift. Plank. Chaturanga. Cobra. Downward facing dog. Good. In yoga, we call that series vinyasa, a sun salutation. Waking up to a new day with new possibilities and new opportunities. Look between your hands, come to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, Fold in. Reach up to the sky. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Plank. Chaturanga. Cobra. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, warrior one. Set your feet up. Set up your foundation and then press in to rise up. Open your arms up, warrior two. Draw your belly button up. Roll your shoulders back and toward each other. And stretch out your fingers in every direction. Exalted warrior, take your front hand up. Plank pose all the way down to the ground. Chaturanga, cobra. Downward facing dog. Other side, step your left foot forward, warrior one. First set up your foundation, then press down to rise up. Open your arms, warrior two. Draw your belly button up. Roll your shoulders back and squeeze your shoulder blades together as you reach your fingers out in all different directions. Exalted warrior, reach up, open the front side of your body. Plank pose all the way down to the ground. Chaturanga, cobra. Downward facing dog. Look between your hands. Walk your feet to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, extend your spine. Fold in. Inhale, reach up, rise up, look up. Exhale, fold forward all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank pose. Chaturanga, cobra. Downward facing dog. Reconnect to your breath. Fill up on breath. Step your right foot forward, warrior one. Root down. Rise up. Then open up, warrior two. Exalted warrior. Side angle pose. Bring your elbow to your knee. Reach your other arm up and over. And stretch your whole open side body from your pinky toe to your pinky finger. Stretch. See if you can look up. See if you can rotate a little bit more open to the sky. Plank pose all the way back down to the ground. Chaturanga, cobra. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward, warrior one. Root down. Rise up. Warrior two. Open up. Exalted warrior, create space. Side angle pose. Bring your elbow to your knee. Stretch your other arm overhead. And see if you can stretch your whole side body. From your pinky toe all the way to your pinky finger, stretch. And then rotate open to the ceiling, to the sky. Plank pose, come all the way down. Chaturanga, cobra. Downward facing dog. Look between your hands, walk your feet to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold deeper. Reach up, look up. Mountain pose. Mountain pose. Check your feet. Are they parallel? Are your joints stacked one on top of the next from your ankle to your knees to your hips to your shoulders? Lift your toes up and spread your toes out wider and plant one toe at a time down on the ground. Roll your shoulders back and down. Spread your fingers out wide. Good. Tree pose, tree pose. So plant one foot down on the ground. The other foot could still touch down on the ground, kickstand, perfectly fine. Or it could come to your calf, or it could come to your quad, or up on your inner thigh, or even across your upper leg. What we don't want to see is lateral pressure on your knee. So skip your actual knee, but anywhere else is perfectly fine. Bring your hands to your heart. If your balance is challenged, find a little spot, one little tiny spot, like on the wall, like that, and stare at it. Like you got laser beams coming out of your eyeballs, stare at it. We find our balance through our focus, like in the world, and also in tree. Then expand, breathe in, reach up, open up. Find a new spot. Lift your heart up, find a new spot. Come back through center with control, all the way back down to the ground. Good, you can pedal out your feet. And we'll do the other side. So fun fact, I ripped my leg off and they had to put it back on. So I can't really do tree that well on this side. But I know that where my thoughts go, my energy flows. So am I going to tell myself I can't do it? No. Am I going to say, oh, I can't do yoga? Oh, I can't be a yoga teacher. I can't do tree. No. I'm just going to do the best I can. I'm going to be willing to try. And that's all I ask of you. Be willing to try. So on the other side, you could do kickstand. You could bring your foot to your calf. I have to hold my leg or it just falls. But maybe you don't. Maybe you could bring both hands to your heart. Oh, hey, maybe I can too. Find your spot, find your focus, and then expand. Find a new spot higher, aim higher. Lift your heart up. Come back through center. All the way back down to the ground. Good. Pedal it out. Wow. New things today in yoga. Always new things. So great. All right, dancer's pose. Ready? This one's tricky. You're going to plant one foot on the earth. Pick the other foot up behind you. Same hand, same foot. Lift the opposite arm up. Set your focus. Find your spot. Stare at it. Stay here. It's a good quad stretch. Stay here. Or press your back foot up to the sky. And then come back up. Keep your foot up. Bring your knee in front. Place your leg down intentionally. Yeah. Good. Other side, plant one foot down. Pick the other foot up behind you. Set your eyes on your spot. Stay here. This is a good stretch. Or press your back foot up to the sky. Come back up, bring your knee up in front, and release it down with control. Yoga teaches us to just be mindful of our movements. Good. All right, this next one is airplane pose. Plant one foot on the ground. Pick the other knee up in front. Breathe in, lift your heart up. Breathe out, airplane. Take your foot straight out behind you. Flex your foot. Point your toes toward the earth. Imagine you had a stack of blocks under each hand. And then come back up slowly. Bring your knee up. And release it down with control. Good. Pedal it out. Other side, airplane. Pick your knee up. Breathe in, lift your heart up. Breathe out, press your foot back. Airplane. Imagine your stack of blocks under your hands. Come back up. Bring your knee up. And release it down to the ground. Pedal it out. Good. Mountain pose. Feet parallel. Legs engaged. Roll your shoulders back. It's very important to practice balance every day. 65% of seniors fall down and break something. And I don't know about you, but I'm not going out that way today. Not today. Practice our balance every day. Good. Breathe in, reach up. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Hands and knees. Come to your hands and knees. Stand up on your knees if that's a thing. Bring your hands to your lower back with your fingers pointed down. Press your hips forward, look up, camel. Come back up and make your way all the way down to your back. Lay down on your back with your knees bent. Bring your heels in close to your hips. And set up for bridge pose. Press into your feet. Press into the whole length of your arms to lift your hips up to the sky. Way up. And then lower down. Bridge pose, lift up. Lower down. One more time, bridge pose. Lift your hips up and lower all the way back down. Sit on your hands and take your feet up. Flex your feet, press through your heels, point your toes back toward your face. And then lower one leg down to a hover. If this irritates your back, keep a little bend in your knees, But if it's okay with your back and your hamstrings, straighten your legs. And then slowly switch. Slowly switch. Slowly switch. Try to find a rhythm that works with your breath as you keep switching. And notice, where do your thoughts go? Are your thoughts like one more each side? And then release your hands, hug your knees into center. Bring your hands behind your knees, and we're gonna rock forward, backward, all the way up to boat pose. Boat pose. Draw your shoulders back and your belly button in, flex your feet. Good, cross your ankles and sit up tall, fold forward. And then press up and switch the way your legs are crossed. Like, we have a normal way and a weird way. Put them the weird way. In yoga, we practice both all the time. Good. Fold forward. Press back up. And take one leg straight behind you for pigeon. So my front leg is bent quite a lot. And my back leg is straight behind me. Look with your eyeballs and make sure it's straight behind you. You don't want it splayed off to either side. If there's a lot of space between your hip and the earth, you could wedge a block under there for support. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, rest in. And you could come to your forearms. You could rest on a block or a bolster. Come down as low as you'd like. Yoga teaches us to always be in a state of inquiry, always asking about our own strengths and our own weaknesses. So in your life, where do your thoughts go? Most human beings recycle 90% of their thoughts every day. Every day, you only think new thoughts about 10% of the time. Why? You already knew that thing. Why are you still thinking about it? Where do your thoughts go? Is that where you want your energy to be? Is that the path to you leading your best life? There's no right or wrong answer. There's no good or bad. It's just a question. Give it some thought. take 2 more slow breaths here. Feel the deep stretch in your hip. And then slowly press up on your hands. And we'll move through plank to the other side. So tuck the toes of your back foot. Press up to plank. Bring the other knee forward. Pigeon. Look with your eyeballs at the back leg. Is it straight out behind you? If there's space between your hip and the earth, put a block in there for support. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, fold in. Reconnect to your full breath. And on this side, I want you to ask yourself, where would you rather your energy go? What do you wish to create? What's the goal? What's the purpose? We're not here to live ordinary lives. We're here to be up to something bigger. How could you direct your thoughts that way so your energy flows that way? Take 2 more slow breaths. And then press up on your hands. Bring your back leg around the front and lay down on your back all the way down. Bring your knees together, take your feet apart, piriformis stretch. This pose takes the stress off your back, opens up the channels of the nerve endings on your back, your sciatic, your vagal. And then do the opposite of that. Take your feet together, bring your knees wide, recline, butterfly. Your hands can go wherever you like. This pose realigns your spine, the natural curves of your spine. Butterflies also remind us that change is always an option. Bring your knees back up in line with your hips. cross one leg all the way over the other leg, like the fancy people at the fancy restaurants do, or used to do, probably. Let both knees fall toward the top foot. Keep your shoulders on the ground and twist. If it's comfortable on your neck, you can turn your face back the other way. Twisting is like wringing out a wet towel, and you wring it and squeeze it and the water all comes out. But out of you, when we wring you and squeeze you, the toxins come out. The excess in your body and the excess in your heart and your soul. All of those. So whatever it is that you're carrying, give yourself permission to wring that out. Because the truth is, without it, you'll have more room for growth. You'll have more possibilities to create something amazing. You just have to put down that weight you've been carrying. Take 3 more big, slow breaths in and out. And then on an inhale, come back up. Uncross your legs. Cross the other side. And let both legs fall toward your top foot. Keep your shoulders grounded and turn your head back the other way. Twist. Wring out. Be aware of what comes up for you on this side. And again, there's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. There's just being aware, being mindful of what you're carrying and why you're carrying it. Does it really serve your greater purpose? If not, let it go. Take 3 more slow breaths here. And then inhale, untwist. Uncross your legs, happy baby. Take your feet up, grab your feet or your ankles or behind your knees, whatever you can get up there that lets you rest your head and shoulders down, and rock side to side. So when we twist, we release toxins. Happy baby stimulates our kidneys to filter our blood, to remove all those toxins we let go of. Waterfall. Take your feet straight up in the air. Sit on your hands. Let your feet be easy. This pose reminds us to go with the flow. It also aids our circulation by putting our big muscles up in the air above the level of our heart. Good. Then bring your knees to your chest, wrap your arms around your legs, and give yourself a big squeeze, a self-love hug. Because more than anybody else, you deserve all the love that you have. Shavasana, lay down flat, all the way down. Rest your whole body. Feel the parts of you that touch the earth. And your earth could be your yoga mat or your floor, whatever's under you. Let the parts of you that touch the earth feel supported and grounded, solid. And let the parts of you that touch the air feel soft and light and free. As you rest here, let your body soak in all the benefits of your practice. You've built bone density, muscle mass. You've increased your metabolism and your cardiovascular integrity. You've built testosterone and confidence. You've reduced cortisol and stress. Allow your body one more moment at rest to soak in all this new energy. And then return your awareness to the rhythm of your breath. Notice how your chest rises and falls, like the waves of the ocean, up and down. Take a big breath in through your nose. Fill up completely every space in your lungs. And then open your mouth, let it all go. Exhale every molecule of air. One more time, take a big full breath in through your nose. Let it out your mouth. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Bend your knees. And roll to a side, either side, fetal pose. the very first yoga pose you were really good at? Fetal pose reminds us to wake up to new energy that we make, that we create, because we are up to something bigger with our lives. Use your hands, slowly press yourself up to a seat. You can take whatever seat is comfortable for you. Sukhasana, simple seat, or diamond legs, or whatever. Lengthen your spine, sit tall. Go into your world and take your yoga with you. Be mindful of your thoughts. Where your thoughts go, your energy flows. Are they really serving your greatest good? Are they helping you live your best life? Make sure of it. At the end of yoga, we say namaste. And namaste means that the light inside of me, the part of me that's special, honors and welcomes the light inside of you, the part of you that's special. So thank you for joining me today for Beginner Flow Yoga. Together we say namaste.